Day 15! Give it up for day 15! Ugh. Editing is hard. The Legend of Zelda: The Helix Blade is a kind of Ocarina of Time / Majora's Mask crossover. Currently this hack is not finished, so the footage that you are seeing here is from my playthrough of the demo that was released a couple weeks ago, right at the end of November. And let me just say, damn, this is a great ROM hack. Gee whiz, I sure love this ROM hack. I cannot wait to see the full product that this thing will hopefully become in due time. But for now, we're gonna have to live with the demo. Now this game starts off with Link, or perhaps Fierce Deity Link, judging from his face paint, also known as Venus because that's what I named him, waking up in a little house in the southern swamp of Termina. This dude tells him to investigate the cause of the abnormally aggressive Deku scrubs, which of course means stabbing them all in the face. Ocarina of Time ROM hacks are always very special to me. Not only do these ROM hacks tend to be a lot more rare in my experience, but I also imagine them to be a lot more difficult to make than Mario 64 or Banjo-Kazooie ROM hacks, or at least more complex with far more variables to consider. It isn't enough to just slap something together and put some stars and coins into it. You have to plan out a sequence of events so that the player can progress through without accidentally getting themselves stuck or something. At least this is how I imagine it to be. Suffice it to say, I cherish pretty much every ROM hack of this game that I play because I never know if or when I'm going to see the next one. The gameplay of Helix Blade is basically identical to that of Ocarina of Time, taking its Majora's Mask feel mostly on the aesthetic and world building end. The world of Termina is, in this hack, very different from the Termina that we see in Majora's Mask. And Termina was already intended as a weird alternative twisted perversion of Hyrule, so yeah, it's doubly unsettling. For instance, the northeast and southwest sections of Termina are entirely sectioned off from one another, and you can't enter the observatory. There are also blockades to prevent you from going into certain areas, although that's likely more of a thing intended to keep you from going to places that haven't been developed yet. But the southern swamp and the Zora's Domain, which are chiefly the two areas you will be going to in this demo, are very different than they appear in Majora's Mask. And yet, in spite of the differences, it still very much captures the spirit of Majora. There's a slightly weird, discomforting vibe about everything that makes it feel like a bizarre dream, and that's exactly what Majora's Mask did, except it's even more ferociously at play here because it's combined with the weirdness that comes with being a ROM hack, and the world is heavily modified and different looking. So, yeah, this is a weird hack. The presentation is great for the most part. A lot of the textures and models have been repurposed from Majora's Mask, which was definitely the better looking game. Link's model is based off of the Fierce Deity Link model. Deity, whatever. The sword looks cool as shit, the bow has been remodeled, Link's shield has a more rounded and smoothed out look to it than it previously did. There's a sort of weird twilight pouring in through the sky, which reminds me, this is one of the few ROM hacks I've seen that takes advantage of Ocarina of Time's day-night cycle. As far as I can tell, it's mostly only effective on the visual end and doesn't change the game in any particular way, but at least it certainly looks cool. And then you have the music. The music is very good, containing original tunes that contain some references to the games it's based on if you know what to listen for. As far as the demo is concerned, there are 2 dungeons that are currently playable from start to finish. There's the Woodland Dungeon and the Zelda Dungeon. If you've played Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, which I certainly hope you have by now, they've been out for 2 decades, you're gonna feel right at home here, and you will know your way around this world. Most of the puzzles will be very intuitive for 3D Zelda veterans. You got block puzzles, torch puzzles, switching platform puzzle thingies where you have to jump off this platform right before it disappears after hitting the switch, because they added a slight delay just so you're barely able to do that. Actually, my favorite puzzle in this hack was most definitely the one where you have to keep hitting this switch, which makes this ice disappear and reappear, but also makes the bars on this door go up and down. You need to remove the ice to get up to the platform with the door, except removing the ice means the door is barred off, so it's a complete lose-lose. That is, unless you drop a bomb all the way down to the ground floor. Now that's something. One of the things I love the most about this hack so far is that, very much in the spirit of Zelda, it contains a lot of secrets and hidden treasures, many of which aren't even necessary to the story or the progression, but will make you stronger in the long run in the fight against whatever the main antagonist of this hack will be. That's what always made Zelda cool for me. Thorough and attentive exploration rewards you with things that will make the game a lot easier in the long run. So it's nice to see that happen in the Helix Blade. As I said, the difficulty in this hack is going to be entirely manageable for those of you who have played the original games. In general, I would say that it's on the easier side, but you're still going to have to try. You know, a little. There are no real boss fights at this point. The first dungeon ends with a horde of Deku scrubs that you have to kill individually. Where do all these bastards come from anyway? Do they grow out of the ground? Or are they born from the Deku tree? Yeah, that's probably it, but I guess I never thought to make a note of it before. Naturally, being a demo, this hack is relatively short and can be completed in about an hour, but at least the pacing is brisk without any time wasters. As of now, there are no weird directions or frustratingly vague instructions that don't really do anything for you. It's usually pretty obvious where you should be going and where you should probably ignore because there's nothing. This is a very nice demo that holds a lot of promise for a full-scale ROM hack that will hopefully come to be one of these days. What do you think will come out first? The full version of this, or Breath of the Wild 2? Well, in any case, that's it for today's present, but remember to tune in tomorrow for our next unwrapping. I won't tell you exactly what it is, but let's just say that if you enjoy things that are generally considered to be pretty and to smell nice, you might appreciate this one. Merry Christmas, cousins.